This godless communism. We have seen in this series of stories the way in which Russia's leaders have followed the teachings of Marx and Lenin. Behind them, they have left a bloody trail. Their methods are very changeable. To those who will listen to talk of peace, they will talk of peace. To those who will falter before threats of war, they will threaten war. But behind all this talk is one goal: world domination by any means. In its wake, communism has left a trail of murders, lies, and misery of a kind never before seen in the history of the world. It is truly the work of the devil. What of the people of Russia? What kind of people are they? Caucasian, Ukrainian, Georgian, Tungus, Muscovite, Uzbek, Kazakh, Kyrgyz, Armenian. First of all, they are creatures of God with bodies and supernatural souls, even though their masters say otherwise. Only 8 million of the country's 215 million people are members of the Communist Party. They are patriotic people. We Russians love our beautiful land. Naturally, we do not want anyone to take it from us. Yet our information sources tell us that is what you want to do. Yet many experts agree that the Russian people hate communism. Those who have escaped the prison of Russia tell us they did so because they hate communism. They say their friends do too. But these imprisoned people hear only lies about the free world and are afraid, and you can hardly blame them. Their communist leaders have promised them a happier life ever since communism gained power in 1917. Instead, they have, for the most part, continued to live in fear and misery. The leaders say communism brings about a classless society. This is hardly true in Russia. There goes one of those scientists off to his estate. According to the government, I'm in the same class he is, but it sure doesn't seem that way. Her husband is a member of the Communist Party. No wonder she can buy so much instead of living on a starvation diet. People are not allowed to travel within their country. But I am going to see my parents in the city of Kiev. You know better than to do that without special permission. You're under arrest. Nor are they allowed to change jobs. But the other factory is next to my home. It will be better for me, and I know I'll be able to do a better job. I'm sorry, Igor. The Government Control Board says you should stay here, and here you will stay. Those who attend the few churches still open are watched closely by secret police and are given only lower-class jobs by the government. We should remember that the Russians are our brothers in Christ. We should hate communism, but not the Russian people who are victims of it. We should hate communism because it tries to stamp out religion. Churchgoers are the enemies of the people and should be dealt with as such. Because it refuses to recognize God in any way. There is no place in communism for this nonsense you call God. And when communism controls the world, people will no longer be allowed to recognize God in any way. Because it uses any means whatsoever.
Ready! Aim! Fire!
To bring about what communists claim will be a heaven on earth. Note, the death toll of communism in the 20th century was a staggering 100 million people. The Bolshevik plague that began in Russia was the greatest catastrophe in human history. Wall Street Journal. Because it assumes it can overcome man's liberties and turn man into something much like a mechanical puppet. God made us with a body and soul destined to be happy with Him forever after our death. This is denied completely by communism. That communism is the work of the devil can best be illustrated by looking at what communism has done to the people under its domination. The history of Russian communism, which you have read in this series, speaks for itself. It is self-damning. But what can we do about it? What should we do to stop them? There are several things that children can and should do. First, we should pray. It is our greatest spiritual weapon. It is interesting to note that it was in 1917, the year communism began in Russia, that Our Lady appeared at Fatima and asked for prayers for Russia's conversion. And in your daily lives as students, always try to be Christ-like. It is surprising how catching such a way of life is. It can spread through your community, your country, and the world. In addition, you should keep yourselves mentally fit and physically fit. For the final triumph of truth in the world may well be up to you. The time may well come when the adult powers of your mind and body will be called upon. Now it is your duty to prepare for the fight that may lie ahead of you. Pray hard and work hard, for the success of the battle may well be up to you. And don't miss our next episode, where we explore the question, what about Communist China?